People, we got a Instagram post today of Anthony Joshua, and it's an interesting one. He is coming back. We kind of already knew that. Eddie Hearn mentioned that AJ may put off retirement for another year to maybe 2027. It's what he was saying in this post that was very interesting. AJ is targeting Tyson Fury. We know that. All right, it goes without saying. We know that. He said at the Ring Award show at the start of the year, in spite of the fact Fury is quote unquote retired, I don't think any of us believe that. I'll touch on that a little bit more. But AJ never normally, he might mention Tyson Fury in an interview. And he's done that several times. You know, you're interviewing Anthony Joshua, certainly now in his career, he'll mention Tyson Fury. That's the main name he mentions, you know. Even when he was getting ready to fight Usyk, Tyson Fury, he's like, if Fury wins, we get it on, and this, that, and the other, right? But he's never really been one for going on social media and giving it to Tyson Fury. I remember distinctly in 2017, he told Tyson Fury to get fit, only ruder. But that was after Fury had literally poked the bear for months on end. I mean, Fury went through a stage, I think it was 2017 when he was on that, you know, ban basically. That was his hiatus, but, you know, it was a backdated ban. That he went through a stage where he was just constant, like going in on Anthony Joshua, saying X, Y, and Z, saying this, that, and the other. Well, Anthony Joshua went on Instagram and he released the following statement. Now, he is talking about Joseph Parker and Fabio Wardley as well. But let's just read this. He says, I'm very proud of Joseph Parker. Even though he is a competitor, real recognizes real. He's in the game to fight whoever, whenever, and that's the DNA of a real general. Credit to AJ and credit to Joseph Parker, former opponents, but, you know, Joseph Parker is. I mean, he didn't have to fight Fabio Wardley. I think he'll win it, but, you know, he can punch Fabio Wardley. God knows what might happen. Unlike his dippy mate, Tyson Fury, I would dissect his career record in minutes, but I'll leave that for a potential gloves are off if he ever comes back and fights Big Femi. A lot of Fury fans call Joshua Femi. I believe his name is Anthony Femi Joshua. I think it's longer than Femi, but that's his middle name. And a lot of Fury fans would be calling, oh, his name is Big Femi and this, that, and the other. But yet, if someone dares call Tyson Fury Luke, or the last name, I mean, they are absolutely just, they're so upset. It's actually funny how butthurt they get, but yet they'll call it AJ Femi. If AJ addressed Tyson Fury as Luke P, that would be one of the greatest things in boxing if he did that. Could you imagine? We can dream. He says, and as well as following, to all my supporters, I'll be back. To all my supporters, I'll be back to lace my boots and put on my gloves sooner rather than later. Hopefully punching Fury's head in and dancing around his flicker jab with ease. Wow. Do you know what, right? Do you know what? That talk there from Anthony Joshua is actually more reassuring that his mindset really is on the job at hand, rather than if he'd been like, you know, oh, you know, we'll see, and, you know, I'll be humble, and he might say this, but, you know, I'm going to be, you know, all that. The fact that he's really coming out swinging on Tyson Fury, we've known for a while he's wanted this fight. Like, it's not like AJ has decided over the last 11 months, oh, my career is winding down, need the Fury fight. Man, he's been trying to do Fury, Wilder for years, those fights for years. I shouldn't have said it like that, pause. But he's been trying to do those fights for years. He's trying to do the Wilder fight when he was unified and Wilder was WBC, right? As far as I'm concerned, Team Wilder are to blame for that, right? Maybe not Deontay necessarily himself, although he did turn down an offer from DAZN, but AJ tried to do that. How many times did we hear the Fury fight? And it was always Team AJ pushing for it. Eddie Hearn trying it with the Saudis when it was Prince Khalid with skill challenge, all that. No, doesn't happen. AJ has to fight his mandatory in Usyk. And do you remember? There was a time when Eddie Hearn said, if we need to vacate one of the belts, we will. Well, he could have vacated rather than fight Usyk, but he didn't. Or he didn't. And he was soundly beaten twice. There's no ifs or buts there. AJ accepted those defeats. He accepted them like a man. Yes, he behaved incorrectly and inappropriately, disrespectfully, in my opinion, in the ring after the second fight. But he was man enough to apologise. Has Tyson Fury ever apologised for the things he said to Alexander Usyk, for the reasons why he feels Alexander Usyk got the victory, which I think is horrendously disrespectful and distasteful and just altogether just, ugh, a lot of things. Nope. And he is still running around peddling this narrative that I got robbed. No, you didn't. No, you were beaten twice by Alexander. You were nearly stopped first time. Right? You were soundly beaten. You had some success, and you had some big moments of success in certain rounds, and you certainly won them. There's no questions asked. But, over the course of 24 rounds with Alexander Usyk, there's maybe 4 or 5 rounds that you clearly won. I'm not saying it's all the rounds you won, but 4 or 5 rounds that you clearly won. I mean, there's way more for Alexander Usyk. Alexander Usyk beat you both times, Tyson Fury. He beat Anthony Joshua both times, soundly. But the difference is AJ is willing to give the man his flowers, and he's willing to give Joseph Parker his flowers, and he wants Tyson Fury. And I like the way he's talking. I like the way he's talking about dancing around Fury's jab. Listen, I don't think Anthony Joshua beats Tyson Fury. Honest to God's truth, if they fight next, I don't think Anthony Joshua beats him. I look at the Dubois fight, and I just think I don't know how you come back from that. I really don't. I mean, it was a worse beating than the Andy Ruiz defeat. And I still don't think 6 years later Joshua was over that. So if you're not over what happened against Andy Ruiz 6 years ago, and bear in mind, it was not as bad of a defeat. Right? I know some people say he quit. No, he didn't. He didn't quit in that fight. Right? I think he knew the writing was on the wall by the time I think it was 4th overall knockdown happened, but he didn't quit. So if that's how if you're still not over that 6 years later, and you've just been, bounced off the canvas by Dubois, then nearly knocked out cold, I don't know how. I really don't. And you're older, in your mid-30s, I'm struggling to see how you come back from that. The Tyson Fury, we don't know how he's going to be, because say what you want to say about Anthony Joshua, he's always in shape. Fury has been into... The first fight was damaging for Tyson Fury because he was hurt several times in that fight, and he was nearly knocked out in the 9th round. The second fight wasn't so much damaging. I mean, he was stunned a little bit late on in the fight, but nothing major. And he really just didn't shift. He was better defensively in the rematch. He didn't shift as much punishment. So I can't look and say, those 2 fights took it out of you. They probably did. And certainly if you see recent clips of him, he's not looking in the best of shape, whereas AJ's always in shape. So that's something to take into consideration. I would make Fury favourite. We don't know what the situation is with him. I mean, he's still saying, one minute he's saying, yeah, well, you know what time it is, and you know what's happening next. And the next thing it's, I'm retired. At the end of the day, I think the reality is Anthony Joshua wants this fight a lot more than Tyson Fury does. I think that's immediately apparent. Anthony Joshua has wanted this fight for years. Tyson Fury, the only time I ever think he maybe somewhat wanted this fight was when AJ got beat the second time by Usyk. And even then, he was setting ridiculous deadlines. All the while with Chisora, it was done, made. So you could argue AJ always wanted this fight more than Fury, and it's a perfectly valid argument. I think Fury is holding out for that trilogy fight. I really, truly do. I think that he would rather, and make no mistake, if he fought Usyk again, I think Usyk beats him again, 3rd time, no problem. I think probably the easiest out of the 3 this time. But he would, if he doesn't get stopped, he would argue that, and even if he did get stopped against Usyk, I'm not saying he would always argue, well, I beat him both times, and it took it out of me, and it's this, and it's this, and it's this, and I'm still the best heavyweight in the world, or I'm the second best, and this, that, and the other. If he loses to AJ, well, AJ is not the second best heavyweight in the world, he's not the 3rd best. He's not the 4th. He's not the 5th. He's arguably not the 6th. You see what I mean? He's not going to be the best heavyweight in Britain. Don't know who that is right now. Could still be Daniel Dubois. Some could argue it's Moses. Seriously, some could argue it's Moses Atelma. Some could say it's Fabio Wardley. It's not Joshua. If you beat him, you can't say, the best heavyweight in Britain. Was AJ the best heavyweight? No. So I think it's a harder sell. To get Fury in for this fight. Turkey would have to offer him an enormous bag, and I think the bag for an Usyk trilogy fight probably would be more, and maybe not even more, maybe it would actually be less, but Fury would be more willing to take it in terms of overall. than he would a fight with Anthony Joshua. I could be wrong. I'd love to see it. I think it makes sense for both of them. I think it would easily fill out Wembley to capacity. It would easily do it. So I'd love to see it. I would. I'd love to see it. I like the talk from AJ. He's not, mincing his words. He's coming straight out swinging. This is what I want to see. This is what I want to see. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section below. AJ coming out swinging. Let me know. Hope you enjoyed it, people. Smash the like button if you could. Hit subscribe, of course, as always, if you haven't already. Until next time. Always a next time. Peace.